I'm Megan Anderson Doyle. I'm the Costume Design Associate for the Denver Center for the Performing Arts. I started in this role in 2006, and prior to that, in about 1998, I worked in the wardrobe department and in the education department with their design summer program.
Yes, my name is Kevin Copenhaver. I'm a costume designer and the costume crafts director here at the Denver Center for the Performing Arts. I was in third grade and I got cast in Oliver, and I kind of got bitten by the theater bug. But I was a horrible actor. I never had any business being on stage. I tried, but I wasn't any good. But I was more interested in what went on behind the scenes, costumes and sets and whatnot.
I feel like the first costumes I designed were definitely like for my Barbies as a kid. My grandmother taught me how to sew and how to cut out pieces of fabric and make them into dresses. And I was like dumbstruck. I was fascinated that people got to do this and, loved Halloween and loved dress up. And so it all kind of just came together with my love for theater and my love of costume kind of grew together. But yeah, definitely since I was a little kid, I've always loved playing dress up and with Barbies and things. Oh my gosh. My favorite part of the design process and starting a new project is always the rendering. I love kind of compiling the designer and director ideas with research and really kind of starting to put it together and see that character begin to develop on the page.
How do I approach the research for a costume for a show? It depends on, often it depends on the period in which we're setting the play. I love books. If you'll look around my office, you'll see we're surrounded by books. I prefer to dig through my collection of books before I start doing internet research, but I will do that. I will look at paintings, I'll look at the period in which the show is set and sort of research that from the ground up.
I feel like my research process is similar for all the shows I do, whether they're contemporary or period. I definitely love Pinterest. I feel like it's a rabbit hole of images, and you can find great color schemes for historical pieces and really great museum research to kind of spur the next part of your search. I love books. I love the library. I feel like that's one of the places that's fantastic that you can kind of get a solid understanding of what these garments are and not just be kind of on this wild goose chase on the internet. And once the director and designer kind of decide what they like and who these people are, we involve our costume shop, and that has a draper or a tailor, and they will help figure out how to take that two-dimensional rendering and make it into a three-dimensional garment. They have first hands who help lay out and cut out the pattern, and then they have stitchers who stitch it together. And then we also have a crafts department that works on distressing fabrics, dyeing fabrics, building hats, working on shoes, belts, things like that. And we also have a wig department, and they help create our facial hair and wigs for our characters. So there's a huge team of people that go into creating these garments and these pieces, and we have fittings on those, and then they go across the street for performance, and our wardrobe team takes over and makes sure that our actors are wearing the right costumes at the right time and that they're pressed or wrinkled, however they're supposed to look. So there's a huge group of people.
What we're doing is telling stories, and I feel like when we're going to go to the theater and sit in a dark space with hundreds of other people and experience a story being told, I want to sort of amp up the visual aspect of that, if it's appropriate, to tell the story.
I think costume design brings that human element to a production. I think clothes are something that we as people inherently understand, that you choose to wear something to reflect a certain mood or a certain place. And I think it's something our audiences can get really excited about, that they can either connect with and understand why that character made that choice, or they can kind of see something in themselves in those garments. And I think it's a really fun way to kind of see one more side of someone's personality.
I love that because more and more people are being exposed to that, whether it's like you're watching the Black Panther and looking at those amazing costumes, or you're seeing a Broadway touring show, or you're seeing one of our plays, just to be able to see some of the costumes up close and notice the details of things is something I'd love for people to recognize, and the fact that it takes a team of people to make one garment.
I hope that when people walk through the exhibit, they get to see all of the intentional, thoughtful design choices that we make, and that it takes a full team of people to realize this vision, and just how exciting it is up close as well as on stage. I think that's kind of the fun part we don't always get to share.